The weather can be scary.
My God.
Loud thunder, dark clouds, wind, rain are bound to cause some anxiety, and for some, even worse.
And it could be up to about 10% of the population in the U.S. has some significant storm-related fear.
Alan Stewart, a psychology and meteorology professor at the University of Georgia, says that this fear and anxiety often stems from a traumatic experience with weather. It could have been a severe storm with damage nearby, a close call with a tornado, or riding out a hurricane.
In those impressionistic times, the experiences of the force of nature, they both stick with a person and can incite fear. And by the same token, it can also lead people to become very weather-oriented in other parts of their life where they follow the weather and are fascinated by it.
Which is exactly how myself and many other meteorologists got their start. For me, it was tornadoes, starting off as fear, then turning to curiosity, then a lifetime focus on the forecasts. This focus is a double-edged sword for those with weather anxiety, as those who pay more attention to the forecast will generally be better prepared. However,
when it gets down to such a micro focus on information as a way to control those feelings, that's a sign that it's too much, spending too much time worrying, and of course other things that we realize that go with a more generalized anxiety response.
If this sounds familiar, he recommends limiting the amount of weather information you can consume, getting enough to be informed, but not obsessing over details that you cannot control. This loss of control is the root of most weather anxiety. Managing it is the biggest tip Stewart can give.
What can you control? How can you get ready for the storm? Make a plan if you need to get out of the coastal area and further inland. Where would you go? Look at that stuff beforehand.
During the season, in the tough times where a storm threatens us, turn to meteorologists you can trust and seek out emotional support and comfort in friends and family. If these coping mechanisms aren't enough, he urges you to find additional help.
Again, if it's so much anxiety that it's debilitating, the person might want to seek out professional psychotherapy or counseling services to try to find ways to deal with and manage those feelings of fear and anxiety.
I know this year has been difficult, and this hurricane season isn't going to help. But by managing our mental health, we'll make it through, and you can count on us to give you the forecast and hopefully some peace of mind. For this week's Moment of Science, I'm Storm Team 2 meteorologist David Dixon.